Hey there, and welcome to the SBVC Centennial Podcast. My name is Thomas Robles, and I am a proud alumnus here at SBVC. This podcast is part of SBVC's Centennial Celebration. Each episode, we will highlight the people that make SBVC way more than just a college. We'll talk to alumni, faculty, staff, local leaders, and community partners about how this campus opened doors, built careers, and inspired generations. Welcome to the SBVC Centennial Podcast, where we celebrate 100 years of stories here at San Bernardino Valley College. For our very first episode, I had the privilege of sitting down with Dr. Gilbert Contreras, the 15th president of San Bernardino Valley College. We talk about what this centennial moment means, why Valley College is such a special place, and where we're headed next. Today, I am interviewing the Dr. Gilbert Contreras. How are you, Dr. Contreras?
I'm great, Thomas. Thank you for asking.
How are things with you on campus? How are you feeling with this centennial year?
You know, it's a very exciting time at San Bernardino Valley College. We took a pretty ambitious approach to celebrating our centennial. Of course, in March of 2026, we are going to have the best ever Centennial Gala, bringing together the community, the alumni, the students, the entire campus community celebrating. But in addition to that, we took on some pretty ambitious projects of celebrating 100 years with 100 events. And we got so excited, we went over 200 events. I think we're approaching 100 for this fall already. But more than that, we're also including capturing the moments of the college. So each week we have weekly highlights that are updated on our website and our YouTube channel that are trying to capture this moment in time. From the events that we're putting on, some spectacular events like having Poncho Sanchez in concert in our Greek theater, to the everyday life of, our teammates mowing the lawn or cleaning up facilities, or teachers caught in action instructing, or students participating, and our scholar athletes participating in events and competitions through their sports. So for me, it's an exciting time because it feels like the campus is really coming alive, and we're coming alive to celebrate something truly special. And that's what this college means to the community, how we've been educating and serving for 100 years. And one of the things we're proud to say, people come to San Bernardino Valley College with a dream and they leave with a future. And it's so special to be the president at this time in this place. And another thing that I often say and said during our spring opening day last year and fall opening day revisited, it's important that we have the right people in the right place at the right time, because we are going to accomplish some amazing things together, and you can feel it right now.
When you hear San Bernardino Valley College, what comes to mind first?
Immediately, I think of community. It takes about 30 seconds to see how much San Bernardino Valley College means to the community. And within that, how much the community means to San Bernardino Valley College. And for me, that's truly special, because to be a community college, you really need to prioritize being a community institution, responding to the needs of the people in the local neighborhoods, in the community. And those needs are diverse. We serve the top 100% in our area. And that means our doors of opportunity are open to everyone. Those needs can be unique depending on who you are or what you're trying to accomplish. We're here to advance trades. We're here to advance transfer. We're here for people to have a first opportunity. We're here for people to have a second, third, or fourth opportunity. We're here for people to come and retool. And for me, that's really special. And in this place, community comes alive. We host so many events for the community on our campus. We participate in so many events outside of this campus. A few examples that come to mind is when we host the backpack giveaway in partnership with our San Bernardino City Unified School Districts. Thousands of young people, youngsters and their parents and their families are on our campus getting backpacks. We host very important things that are important to our affinity groups, important to our cultural groups. We have strong ties with the Black community that really shaped and defined the 100-year history here. We have strong ties with the Latinx community, really shaped the past century here at San Bernardino Valley College. And we've really incorporated that into who we are. And I think there'll be opportunities for me to speak more about the Valley Up initiative, but that's really embedded into the Valley Up initiative. Our guiding principle as we hit the next century or enter our second century is advancing community and all the diverse communities that comprise this very special place. I say often in many spaces, in many places, diversity is our greatest strength. And that's on display here every day when we come to 701 South Mount Vernon Avenue, what we call San Bernardino Valley College.
You stepped into this role during the centennial year here at SBVC. Was there a moment you realized, I'm helping carry this into the next 100 years?
I think that moment hit me even before I applied for the position.
Wow.
I think I took very seriously. I was at Fullerton College, community college down the road a little bit for 8 years and never saw beyond Fullerton College until this opportunity presented itself. And I was like, let me take a look what's going on over at San Bernardino Valley College. And as I started to look into the college a little bit more, I just couldn't read about it because what I was reading was jumping off the paper, learning about the support for, part-time students, knowing that the majority of our students are part-time, the support and emphasis on helping people, with upward social mobility, access financial aid, looking at the needs of the students, the needs of the community. I said, I gotta go check this place out. So even before the interview, I drove down here and it was a rainy day, got the kids in the minivan, the wife parked over by Applied Tech near the welding building, saw a welding instructor. And I was like, hey, what's going on here? How do I get to a baseball game? Because I saw the baseball game going on and walked around, got to talk to folks there, and immediately started to see the beauty of the built environment. This campus is absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, from the auditorium that was really the icon for this place and the oldest building on our campus, to the Applied Tech building, which is our most recent building, has won numerous awards throughout the state. It's something that really pops out and you think about it. So as I walked on the campus, I also went out in the neighborhood and looked at the neighborhood, and it reminded me of my childhood. And it hit me quickly when you watch the movie Ratatouille. And if you have young ones, you see the movie Ratatouille, and the food critic goes and bites into the ratatouille, and he has an immediate flashback to his childhood. That happened for me. Driving through the neighborhoods and seeing the neighborhood, seeing the Santos in the yards, and seeing the rose bushes, and seeing the clotheslines, and seeing the kids at the local elementary school. So this is very familiar to me. So it was not only the study of the place, but it was also my experience hitting the ground in this place that really helped shape and define, like, hey, this place aligns with who I am, both the built environment and also what this place is trying to accomplish through the vision, through the strategic planning, the support of the chancellor's staff, the board of trustees and their strategic directions. This place is thinking about what community colleges were intended to be. And that is a place for everyone. You come for all your needs and you end up leaving with the future.
You're saying this speaks to my heart and you want to serve this community. That's amazing. And thank you so much for what you're doing. I think it really takes a special kind of person to say, like, this is what I want to commit my life to be, to help this community. And once again, as a community member, thank you. Yeah. It's awesome. Our next question. You often say, right people, right place, right time. What does that mean here at San Bernardino Valley College?
It aligns with us celebrating our centennial. It aligns with our Valley Up initiative. But for me, it's about really celebrating the diversity of cultures, the diversity of opinions, the diversity of people that define this institution. If you go back a few years and you go through the COVID times, you really have to confront the idea that this is a beautiful campus. But when we weren't able to come to campus, it still existed. It existed because of the people. People define institutions. So for me, it's really important as I came in during my first year, not to come in and like say, I'm going to help this community, but I'm going to be part of this community. I'm going to love this community. And it's okay for all of us here at Valley College to say we love ourselves. We're proud to be at San Bernardino Valley College. And I think that's the electricity, that's the energy that we're experiencing this year during the Centennial, is being bold about our own love for this college and for what it represents to the community. And for me, that translates into each of our different cultural experiences. It's okay to boldly proclaim that we are a Black serving institution. It's not only it's okay, it should be celebrated. We should boldly proclaim we are a Hispanic serving institution. You know, the indigenous roots of this territory and how the Native American indigenous community have defined this region for many, many years. To proclaim our goal of striving to be an Anapeasy school. Even if we don't meet the numbers, we meet what that represents. To proclaim a military-friendly school for our veterans, and go down the list of diverse communities that we serve. So having said that, the right people in the right place at the right time is really building up our employees and supporting our employees, our volunteers, our classified professionals, our faculty, our managers, and commending them for the work that they do and giving them the resources, giving them the support they need to holistically serve our students, educate our students. You can't serve the whole student if you don't support the whole employee. So I think that's a really big part of right people, right place at the right time. And in that, when we're interviewing and hiring folks, over the last year, we filled more than 85 positions. We have another 50 in progress to be filled. That's a lot of positions. But one of the things that I take very seriously is why Valley College. You know, explain why you want to be here. And what I'm noticing in those final interviews, there's a lot of people coming home. There's a lot of people that were traveling to go to other colleges to work and serve other communities, which is great because people need help all over the place. But it's really a homecoming, as we just celebrated our homecoming, bringing the right people to love this place. You often hear me say leading with love, and I believe in that. As a leader, I believe in that to the heart. You know, it starts with leading people with care. You can't lead people unless they know you care about them, that you're going to do everything in your power to make sure that you're advancing this institution for our students, for this community, and with our employees in mind, with our community in mind, knowing that everything we do is going to be for the benefit of the students, benefit of the community, and to serve our employees along that journey.
I really like that holistic piece that you were mentioning. I agree, you know, to invest in your faculty and your staff and your administrative team. You're right. That is the backbone to properly serve the students.
Yeah, and just to add to that, you know, it's the great work that was already being done here. Mm-hmm. You know, we got to do a ribbon cutting for an applied tech building. I get to go up there, I get to cut the ribbon and give the speech. You know, I think that was the first time we coined the phrase, come with the dream, leave with the future. That's on the shoulders of all the people who came before me. That's on the previous administration. That's on our board of trustees. That's on the chancellor. That's on all the employees that worked to get us to this point. That's on the taxpayers to thank them for supporting the bond that would secure that building that's going to provide so much opportunity for our students and for this community. So to me, it's exciting to be part of that it's not me. I'm part of, you know, a community working forward to serve this community. And at San Bernardino Valley College, that's really, really special because we were the first community college intentionally built as a community college. So all the colleges that came before us were transitioned from a high school or from some other use. This was the state of California, the people of the state of California saying, we need community colleges, and when we design them, they should be this way. So that's part of our history. That's part of our legacy. And now as we enter the second century, the second 100 years, what are we going to lead on next? What are we going to be pioneers for? Proud to sit up here and say that we are number one in providing students with credit for prior learning. So our veterans who have gained skills in the military, get credit for them as they come to us. People in certain trades get credit for them, and it shortens their time to goal completion. So in those areas and in a number of other areas, where are we going to lead the state again? And that's exciting because we have amazing people doing work here, and to work alongside them and to remove barriers for them and to support the great work. That's my role as the president, to help steward this college forward for the next 100 years.
To carry on that conversation, my favorite thing to come out of the Centennial, Valley Up. What does Valley Up mean to you, Dr. Contreras?
Oh, wow. You hit me right in the heart, So Valley Up really emerged from our head football coach, James Griffin Avant. And got to give him all the credit for Valley Up. And just to give you the context on our football program, when I arrived here, I actually came a month before to meet with the football coach in that area and to talk about the program. And at that point, we had 9 student athletes, competing in the football program. And unfortunately, last year, we had to cancel the season because our numbers dwindled. It was that moment that I said, we're gonna do some things different here. We're gonna, emerge this program as the top program in the state, and we're well on our way. And in conversation with the coach, he goes, the new coach that we hired, he was really positive about this is Valley Up. This is not Valley Same. And to me, what Valley Up means is we're ready to launch. There's so much great work being done here, and it's about taking that work and elevating it, elevating standards of excellence, elevating teaching excellence, elevating service excellence, making sure that people have what they need to be great. And sometimes it's kind of tough because you walk around campus and there's a little hesitation, there's a little pause, and I want to say sometimes it feels like people are scared to be great. And it's okay because we're going to be great together. Our students deserve that. When yesterday I had the opportunity to go to the speech tournament, to see our students in the speech tournament, they're outstanding. I could see them competing with students at Harvard, at MIT, at, the top school, Stanford, Berkeley, UCLA. They can accomplish great things. Similar with our faculty, similar with our staff, we can be great. So Valley Up is really about putting the support in place for this place to launch to the next century, providing more transfer opportunities, more career opportunities, more love of this campus, more love of this community, and really spreading light. You asked me earlier, what do you think about Valley College? This place is light. This place is hope. This place is promise. Everywhere you go in the IE and in any interaction I've had in the community, everybody knows Valley College, well known, and everybody has a story of happiness, of giving, of support, of service of Valley College. So to me, that's very special. And from there, it didn't stop. It wasn't only about an energy. So we really, took it as a cabinet. I got to thank my cabinet. My vice presidents who've been working hard over this year, and the management team as well. I know I talk about the employees. I give the management team some credit because they're on this journey with us. And it transitioned to a strategic plan. When I got here, we had 132 goals. And when you have 132 goals, you don't have any. You're working on everything. So Valley Up became an initiative to align with the Vision 2030, to transition our educational master plan, our strategic plans, our equity plan, go down a list of all the plans we have and to simplify it, to say this is what the college will be working on with the guiding principle of advancing community and 4 priorities. The priority of transfer and career, the priority of health and safety, the priority of being boldly student-centered, and the priority of opportunities for all. And in that, looking at 10 targets, how are we going to improve success measures, equity measures, and how are we going to maximize the student-centered funding formula so we can generate more money to put back into this community, create more jobs, and provide more opportunities for the students who choose to come to San Bernardino Valley College. So Valley Up started with, we're about to launch, and got put into implementation steps of how it's going to guide our strategic directions, our strategic planning for at least the next 5 years, but to set us on a path for the next 100 years to be the top community college in the state of California.
So, Dr. Contreras, we have a few questions left. You've touched on this, but I really would love you to hone in and really kind of paint a picture for me. What makes SBVC an authentic Valley institution?
Well, yeah, I think I have touched on that question already, but when you say the word authentic, you often see me working with the students and out there and trying to bring energy. I love being with the students. And what's really cool is the cabinet loves being with students, and faculty always love being with students. Our classified employees work tirelessly helping students. You could see it all over our campus. But to be authentic, right, it goes back to our roots. We were the first intentionally built community college in the state of California. And I'd use trivia with the students. I start with a very serious question like, in the state of California, there are 116 community colleges. You see them get super nervous, right? I think of the example when we had our middle college, high school, their cheer squad, which we're trying to make our official cheer squad, pulled one of their students, was a ninth grade student, and asked her that question. And the question is, there's 11 colleges with the name Valley College in it, right? And who was the first? So I'll give them examples like Antelope Valley, Victor Valley, Irvine Valley, Imperial Valley. But we were the first. So I know my quizzes are not very hard because San Bernardino Valley College is always the answer. But hopefully some of the students haven't seen that. But, I've been known for giving out $100, $100 for 100 years. And the first time we did that was at a regional partnership with the San Bernardino County Office of Education, some of our local partners in the applied tech area. There's a group of 8th graders that came to the applied tech building. And that's a moment I'll never forget. Talk about a moment with a student that really left a lasting impression on you. This is one. This 8th grader went up there and answered the question and talked about San Bernardino Valley College. And when he won the $100 for 100 years, I'll never forget the expression on his face. His eyes went super wide, and he was so happy. And I can't imagine the story he has to tell to his friends and to his loved ones when he went home and later that day. But there's so many stories with students to see. Our students who competed in the speech and debate tournament at UC Riverside, our honors conference that we participated, where a SBVC alumni in the state was the keynote speaker. To our athletics programs this year. It's the first time, I think, in our 100-year history. Well, all of our teams are in postseason play on Saturday. Tomorrow, they'll be competing. Our football program went 7-3. And after not finishing the season last year, so proud of the work that they're doing. They've overcome tremendous obstacles, tremendous adversity this year as a program. And just so proud of our scholar athletes, so proud of our speech and debate teams, so proud of our honors program. This week alone, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, we had the birthday bash for Blue. Outstanding. Cody from Cal State San Bernardino, their mascot came. Eddie came right here from KVCR. And, there's a little bit of a family rivalry. Like, hey, how come Riker over at Crafton Hills boycotted Blue's birthday? So we're going to do a little social media call out of Crafton Hills for Riker not coming to Blue's party. But on that day, so special, we had our retirees luncheon here at the same time. We had our Umoja program doing a Friendsgiving. We had Links and Drinks to raise funds for our Black Faculty and Staff Association. We had men's and women's soccer competing. We had the Academic Senate meeting. So this place comes alive in so many ways. That's just on campus. Then community partners are using our spaces. This is a really exciting time to be at San Bernardino Valley College.
This centennial year, as you've mentioned, has surfaced a lot of powerful stories here on campus. Mm-hmm. Is there one that you haven't touched on that really changed how you felt or really stuck with you?
It's really hard to narrow it down to one because I think of so many positive interactions that I've had. I think about the work that one of our counselors, Ula, is doing with our Pacifica Club and the work that they're doing, and I think of the work that our honors program is doing in their competition with Carol Damjan and Ed Gomez and, people who are working very closely with us. Susie Matson yesterday working with our speech tournament and the students who are involved there. But for me, I think, every morning I'm walking the track and I get to see the sun come up over the water tower. And I got a chance to get to know the cross-country men's and women's program as they're running out there in the morning, every morning. And especially the football program as they went from, very few players to a lot of players. And there's two students that really hit my heart in that. And one is Torin, who, early in the summer was diagnosed with cancer and went back home and really felt like in order for him to be successful, he needed to stay attached to San Bernardino Valley College. So continues to go to school, is battling chemotherapy, so touched and honored that our first home opener, he carried out the flag for the team. And, when I get a chance to see him in between his difficult chemotherapy treatments, to get a hug from him, to be visited by his mom and his parents and his family, his sister, and to get hugs from them and to be there along his journey, and to be able to share my own cancer journey with him and to coach him up and say, you're first quarter of this battle, he's entering his second quarter, putting in football references. And, as someone who's been through 21 treatments of chemo, to know what he's going through is super powerful. And then a lot of people might not know, we also had another football player collapse, right before the first week of the season. And he was competing for the starting job at quarterback, and Marcus, our hearts just, really fell when he collapsed on the field and, had to receive CPR. And for me, just the love for our athletics training staff, Keith and Edgar and I think they were there that day, but there's also another trainer that's involved. They saved his life. They had 2 times, the compressions. When we got to Loma Linda, the doctor was like, those compressions saved his life. And just to honor the work of our training staff, and you talk about leading with love, that is, that pauses you. That pauses you, like, this program entering the season, had someone fighting cancer. They had another young man collapse and fight for his life, and he's doing well on the road to recovery and doing rehabilitation and physical therapy. That means something that that our employees put everything into leading with love. They put everything into, and that is a huge example for me. So for Turin and Marcus, we're with you every step of the way, and we're going to be there along your journey to come back well beyond your years at San Bernardino Valley College. And that's one thing I want students to know, and the community to know, that at San Bernardino Valley College, it's not just while the time you're here. You're always welcome home. This is your home forever. And that's what we're really trying to build, that sense of belonging, that sense of community in every aspect of our college campus, in every aspect of the student experience. And that starts with the families. So you talk about 2 students that really hit me and left a lasting impression, that would be those 2 among the many other.
Absolutely. It's astounding what can happen on campus, and the fact that they're still out and about, but this experience is living with them.
And the other thing is, you don't realize, when you're putting plans into place, because our football program struggled last year and had to, be canceled, there was a really renewed focus. And I went around this campus with the Elevate Athletics plan, and the precursor to that plan was adding an athletic trainer, to that. They went from 2 to 3, and to really support that. And to know that, at least one of those trainers that was new was out there saving someone's life. We all play a role. We all play a role, in supporting our students. And a lot of times you don't see it. You think because you're cutting the lawn, or you're taking out the trash, or cleaning the windows, or you're teaching, or you're supporting a student in a certain area, your impact hits all of our students, and all of us connected together reaches our students. And we have to do a better job as an administration showing that. Like, every one of us lifting together influences the outcomes for our students. And in these 2 particular examples, it was those people at that time, the right people in the right place at the right time, saved a life, transformed a life. And that's what we do in the educational setting at Valley College. The right people in the right place at the right time are going to launch our students into better careers, into better transfer opportunities.
Thank you for sharing that. How does your background in urban planning shape your vision for SBVC's next chapter?
That's a great question. To me, the really quick answer is community colleges are a community institution. It's really easy to see the connection to labor markets, to career, to the built environment, to opportunities, to social economic interactions. Community colleges are a reminder that place, space, and race still matter. They're opportunities for everyone. So for me, looking back at my urban planning background and trying to really explain it in the educational setting is something I've become very familiar with, because if you start from the premise that as a community college, we're a community institution, it makes sense. It makes sense that we are going to provide opportunities through education to create pathways for folks for upward mobility. And that is choosing a career or choosing a transfer opportunity that's going to lead to advanced degrees, that will provide more opportunities for our students. So it didn't really seem that way at first, to be honest with you. My background, I've done a lot of research. My journey was really shaped by a lived experience. We talked about a couple of students that shaped my life. Starting out when I was 17, I had a cousin that was murdered. He was murdered by a rival gang member. And at that moment, I asked myself, why did his life go this way and my life going that way? So I knew at 17 when I headed off to Berkeley that I wanted to choose a career, choose a calling that was going to help provide people with more opportunities, and also, help structures present more opportunities for people. But at 17, you don't know what that means. You go off and try to do a bunch of things, and it takes a lot of mentorship. I really got to thank my family, my parents, for encouraging values in me of hard work, of sacrifice, of faith, of family, and definitely couldn't do it without my wife. My wife has been a huge part, sharing all the time that I spend here and being part of it. You see her at a lot of the events, and she's Valley Up all the way as well, and so are my kids. It's part of who we are. So along that journey, setting off to really, transform lives, it led me down this way through doing research, to my master's thesis at MIT was ending teen homelessness. My dissertation focused on, collaborations between cities and schools and providing more opportunities, looking at, gangs and gang suppression policies, and studying my hometown of Norwalk. So doing research, working for the county, working for nonprofits, all my experiences up to this point have proved valuable as a president. I worked for the Reardon Foundation, giving computers in classrooms for K-12, and worked as a resident assistant and a hall coordinator in the dorms. Super beneficial for being a college president. I worked as a recreation leader for the Parks and Rec. Super beneficial for being a college president. So you go down the list of experiences that you've had, and then, of course, the academy. One of the things I'm very proud of and really connects me to this place is our collaboration with Cal State San Bernardino. I've been pretty open about us wanting to be their number one feeder. We want to be the top place that sends students to Cal State San Bernardino, and we're well on our way to accomplishing that. But that partnership is also important, and I taught there. I taught in their doctoral program, governance and policy in higher education. And then COVID hit. I was like, I'm out. So much love and respect to our faculty who had a transition on a dime and now, are doing great things with distance ed. And, we have a long way to go to be the top in the universe on that. But, it took a lot to transition to that. And that's when I backed out. I was like, I'm no longer teaching. I want to focus on this administration thing. So, so when you think about urban planning, for me, it's really about community. And I built that into the Valley Up initiative, advancing community. There's no place in the world that does it better than San Bernardino Valley College.
Amen. Absolutely. Here's your last question, Dr. Contreras.
All right.
If you can finish this sentence and answer it in a whole sentence, San Bernardino Valley College is, and then you fill in the blank.
Is it a one word?
Feel free to make it your own. If you want it to be a one word or if you want it to be a paragraph, it's up to you.
I mean, I could give you the tagline, right? People who come with a dream and leave with a future. But I would say San Bernardino Valley College is community. It is hope. It is promise in a better future.
Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Thomas Robles. This is the San Bernardino Valley College Centennial Podcast. Valley Up.